up somebody who represents another part of our demographic that is being hurt by this law. It's my pleasure to introduce State Coordinator for the Rainbow Push Coalition, Reverend Charles McKenzie. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Allison, and thank each of you for coming here today.
Hey, Tony.
There are times in the history of this state and nation when there are what we call watershed moments. These acts that have been implemented by the legislature are the most egregious assault on the most fundamental right of democracy, the right to vote, since the civil rights era. And I want to thank you for gathering today as a voice of conscience. And I want to read something very briefly that a man who was responsible for ensuring the right to vote said on the occasion of the signing of that bill. This law covers many pages, but the heart of the act is plain. Wherever by clear and objective standards, states and counties are using regulations or laws or tests to deny the right to vote, then they will be struck down. And under this act, if any county anywhere in this nation does not want federal intervention, it need only open its polling places to all of its people. This good Congress, the 89th Congress, acted swiftly in passing this act, and I intend to act with equal dispatch in enforcing this act. These were the magnificent words of Lyndon Baines Johnson upon the signing of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. It was the culmination of years of struggle, hundreds of beaten down bodies, much blood, sweat, and endless tears. Medgar Evers had given his life for the right to vote. Valerie Lutzu gave her life fighting for this right. James Reed was beaten to death fighting for this right. Mickey Schwerner, Andrew Goodman, and James Chaney were murdered on a dark Mississippi highway fighting for the right to vote. The nation knew then, as it knows now, that this right above all others is the cradle of democracy. This right is non-negotiable. It is a right that is at the epicenter of our republic. For African Americans, Latinos, and women, it is a right that was purchased with too much suffering, too much blood, and we will not allow mean-spirited, disingenuous legislative schemes to take it from us. Let the legislature understand this. In terms that are crystal clear, if you insist on trying to block our right to vote, you must be prepared for a season of agitation and a sustained period of unrest. Where there is no justice, there will be no peace. We must begin to see in no uncertain terms that the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. And I want you to say this with me. This is what democracy looks like. I want to vote. I must vote. I will vote. America is bigger and broader than the Republican primary in South Carolina. This is larger than any political party. This is not about partisan agenda. It is bigger than the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, and the Tea Party. This is about the right to vote for all Americans. It is about a fundamental premise of our democracy. And let me close by saying this. We fight wars for democracy abroad. Then we declare war on democracy at home. But the power of the people is still greater than the people in power. This neo-Confederate attempt to bring about a new poll tax, to bring about a new impediment will not work, because we, the people, will ensure that it does not work. We will join together, and we're going to find out where those 4 legislators were who led the charge on this, and go into those districts and do everything we can to ensure that they don't return to Tallahassee. Let me close today by saying, I must vote. I want to vote. I will vote. vote. We ain't going back. We ain't going back. The power of the people is greater than the people in power.